تنهيتني مقمك انت تكاكيا نمني مبئي اتشاب شبئت إيري ام بنوسن كاكي أرينو إن خنوتي أهسف إني كسرت متتشوسي انت بن مكاريوس يدبت شوس بينشتي أفانتوني
Egypt is the cradle of monasticism in the whole world that has adopted it from Egypt both as a popular and church system together. Saint Paul initiated monasticism in 305 AD, though Saint Paul had the head start and was first to be called the Christian tourist. Building monasteries continued after that, and Saint Pachomius established the first monastic company in 318 AD, and after that Saint Macarius built his two famous monasteries, Abramos and Bishop Macarius monasteries, and that was between 340 to 360 AD. Today we'll get to know one of the famous monasteries in Egypt, the monastery of Bishop Macarius the Great, one of the saints called the carrier of the Holy Spirit. According to scholars, he enjoyed a lot of good characteristics, and a lot of priests testified that his face glowed in the dark, and so they called him the glowing lantern. That is why his monastery is called the glowing lantern of the wilderness. The monastery began to emerge in about 360 AD, without walls or even fortifications. Just one cell, which Bishop Macarius built at the tip of the rock, and then it began to enter its building's golden age in 438 AD, which is its earliest feature. That was the building of the Al-Bamun fort to house the monks safely during the Barbers' attacks, as it was said that the monastery was attacked several times in 442 and 570 AD. By 482 then, the big construction of the monastery began at the hands of King Zainun. Now, we'll begin our visit to the monastery. At the entrance, we need to climb down big stairs to reach the small Bishop Macarius church. When we look up, we will see that we are crossing an ancient arch that is made of red bricks. That was the old northern entrance of Bishop Macarius church before the 9th century AD. While some say that it dates back to the 7th century AD, because it is made according to the arch in Bishop Benjamin's temple that was built during Pope Benjamin's, who was the 38th patriarch, in the middle of the 7th century. That means that it is more than 1,300 years old and was discovered during removing the layers of the wall that was built around the church starting from the 14th century AD. Now to Bishop Macarius Church that was first built in 360 AD. Then it was rebuilt during Pope Benjamin's rule. Its big frame was called Bishop Macarius frame, made of bricks with a diameter of 8 meters. It's also called Bishop Benjamin's frame. Nothing remains of the first church but Bishop Macarius and John the Baptist frames. The latter got that name because the body of John the Baptist had been carried from Palestine to Alexandria, then was buried in Bishop Macarius Monastery. During digging the first chorus place in front of the frame, and with 8 meters deep, a basement of the old bricks was found, and inside were those remains that were already salvaged along with the bones and a coffin containing a complete human skeleton. We move to the second church in Bishop Macarius Monastery, which is the church of the 9 martyrs, and that was originally a part of the western parts of Bishop Macarius Church, was named after the 9 martyrs who fell in the barbarians' 3rd raid. Some parts of the old church still remain there, like the dome of Almiron. We'll visit the 3rd church within Bishop Macarius Monastery, which is the church of Absachirun, who was the Coptic martyr who martyred during the reign of Emperor Diocletian, and also was part of Bishop Macarius Church from the southern part, and was probably the frame of the 3 boy martyrs, was restored after the collapse of Bishop Macarius Church and became an independent church, while nothing remained of the church but its southern chorus place. And the 4th, known here in the old times, was Khausak, which is one of the most important ancient monuments in the monastery and is considered to be one of the largest forts in Coptic monasteries. It was built by King Zainun in 482 AD by architects that he had sent specially to the monastery when he learned that his daughter Alria, who had disappeared suddenly from his palace and went to the monastery and became a monk at the hands of one of the Bishop Macarius disciples and lived there disguised as a male monk whom they called Monk Alari. And then this happened till she died there. The fort is made up of 3 stores and is separated from the stairs leading to it by a movable scaffold that was raised after the monks get sheltered inside. The first floor comprises storage with high domes and a water well, while the second contains a church that is called the Virgin Church and a number of rooms, and also the upper stool contains Angel Michael's Church. To the old cells that lie to the south of current Bishop Benjamin's frame. that were buried over the remains of the southern frames that collapsed from Bishop Macarius' church. They date back to the 4th century AD. One of the things in the monastery, and is considered to be of the essentials in the lives of monks, is the table that the monks gathered around for every meal, and it has been restored. We see at the head of the table, at the end of the room, there is another smaller table on which the Bible was laid, while a priest, according to the rites, used to give sermons to them while they were eating. Wraps our visit to one of the most important and old monasteries in Egypt, named Bishop Macarius Monastery, through which we were able to get to know what the monastery contains, that is considered a living example of what every monastery in Egypt is, and also is an exemplary of a monastery before the whole world.
والخني تني مقمي كنت تكاكي نمني مبئي اتشاب شبئت إيري ام بنوسن كاكي أرينو إن خنوتي أهسف إني كسرت متتشوسي انت بن مكاريوس يدبت شويس بين اشتي أفانتوني